Well, good morning, folks. It's the real Captain Kirk here. It is the 9th of November, day 237 remote. Looking at the world recap here for last week. Again, this big map is how our clients like to look at it, temperatures versus a year ago on our retail calendar. So this first week of November, hot. 9.4 degrees warmer than last year across the U.S. as a whole. Third warmest in 35 years, so much above average temperatures. 40% drier than a year ago, driest in 11 years across the U.S. Third driest in 35 years, so very low on the precip front. 78% less snowfall than a year ago, least in 4, seventh least in 35. So again, much below there as well. Up in Canada, they finally warmed up a bit. 8 degrees warmer than a year ago, warmest in 4. Europe, a tad cooler, coolest in 4 years. Russia, 6.1 degrees warmer, warmest in 10 years up there. China, 1.9 degrees warmer, warmest in 9. Australia, a bit warmer, warmer than a year ago. India, also the warmest in 3 years. And cool spots down in Brazil, 3.1 degrees cooler than a year ago, making it the coldest actually in 9 years. Maps inset left there are precip and temp trends versus average. Looking at this fall so far again, so going back to the 1st of September, these bars show the year-on-year change versus a year ago on the left, and the bars on the right here are year-over-year change actually versus average. So focusing on that temperatures versus last year, obviously we're in a much, much hotter period than a year ago. Looks like fall overall, again, September, October, November timeframe is going to be the warmest in 4 years, 5th warmest in 35 years. So much above average here with this big, huge warm-up that we're having here in November. Driest in 3 years, 12th wettest in 35 years. So near average on the precip front. Snowfall least in 3 years. Still 15 snowiest in 35 years, so near average, but again, least in 3 years. Quantifying this for our big retail customers, we call our technology the power of 1 degree. Quantifies 10,000 seasonal categories and how weather influences those sales. So if we look at things like jeans, coffee, flu, medications, every degree colder, they tend to go up about 2% year on year. 10 degrees colder, you'd have about a 20% increase. Unfortunately, if we look at last week, again, it was near record hot for the country as a whole, 9.4 degrees warmer for that first week of November. So 9.4 times 2, you got coffee, flu, medicines, jeans down 19%. Boots, apparel, bird seed, hunting. Yes, the ladies out there like to feed the birds when it's cold and snowy, but they tend to get less when it's like it is right now. So bird seed's down about 28%. The good news, your heating bill probably had to even turn on the air conditioning here this past weekend here in the east. It was 70s and near 80. So your heating bill will be off a bit. Good news, down 47%. And things like ice scrapers, mouse traps, and auto batteries that are very volatile, down as much as 66% year on year. So again, trends don't look very favorable until we get maybe way out there toward Thanksgiving. A tad more favorable as we end the fall season here. We got Hurricane ETA has reformed. It came off of Nicaragua and Central America, now went over Cuba and brought tropical storm force conditions to South Florida, Miami, Key West. Models are all over the place. The official Hurricane Center chart left shows it regaining hurricane strength again and heading generally toward Florida, but a lot of uncertainty here. Models right show it all over the place. So we will see. Something to watch. So again, we could be facing another hurricane landfall here sometime late this week. So again, just something to watch here for sure. Looking at this week, 9 through 15 November, the second full week of November here, 12.9 degrees warmer than last year, warmest in 21 years on a national scale. Again, country's pretty much split in two here. A very, very hot east, again, with more record temperatures here today, and very cold up there in the Rocky Mountains and the plains and the west. Overall, though, still second warmest in 35 years. Wetter than a year ago, second wettest in 35 years. So again, that conveyor belt of moisture along the east coast. We'll see about that. Depends on which way ETA heads. And even some rain out there in the plains. Snowfall least in 3 years, second most in 35 years, but again, that's below average here this week. Looking at the 6-day snowfall trends here again, so we have snowy conditions again, kind of where they're probably going to be all winter. Is that northwest part of the country, northern Rockies, definitely going to continue to be the big winners, we believe, this winter. Looking at here on Tuesday, Wednesday, Veterans Day, a little bit of snow up there in the upper Midwest, the Minneapolis area, northern Wisconsin. Thursday, and then Friday, Saturday, again, most of that snow, heavy snow, is staying in the Pacific Northwest part of the country. So again, that probably is the winter pattern that we're seeing here. Again, don't forget, Wednesday is Veterans Day here. So again, God bless all our veterans out there. Looking at next week, third week of November here, 10 degrees warmer than last year, warmest in 35 years. So again, similar trends, much above average temperatures for most of the country. Map inset left there is versus a year ago. So again, very, very warm. So again, slow demand here for seasonal categories. Sales will certainly be on the weak side This is great news, though, for outdoor activities, home centers, construction, overall GDP. Just great news on that front. Wettest in 5 years, 11th wettest in 35 years. Again, Pacific Northwest is kind of the wet spot. Snowfall, again, probably going to be out there in the northwest part of the country, certainly not in the east. Snowfall least in 3 years, 10th least in 35 years, so below average on that snowfall front. We'll end here with the 2-week world outlook, so aggregating the 2-week world trends here. This is temperatures versus average in this case on this big map here. So very warm southeast U.S., very cold northwest. Pretty cold area. Look at that, Africa and Brazil, and warm across Europe and much of Asia and Europe. So very warm across Siberia. The one bellwether is if you can have a lot of snow in Siberia in October, November, you can generally have a cold winter here in the U.S., but not seeing that. So again, sticking to our guns here that this winter is not going to be that bad across the U.S. other than maybe the Pacific Northwest. We will end here with watching our farmers harvest here this past weekend here. So end with a cute little one here, waving to the farmer in his Case combine harvester, and he actually stopped and got out and spoke with the little one. So with that, folks, have a great week, and we will be back here this time next week.